Hello and welcome back to my channel. Who do you want to be? What do you want to look like? Those are the things that we're talking about today. Hello and welcome back. I'm Aysun. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Germany. My parents are Turkish and I'm studying in Scotland. Yeah, that's pretty much me. And I think having body issues is something very normal, especially when you're young, but I feel like it is something that everyone is thinking about. My mom is over 50 and she still has issues and she still has insecurities, and I feel like if we don't tackle them, they just stick around with us, and it's perfectly fine if we have some things that we cannot solve and that we have to work through, but the earlier you work through them, the more confident you can be in who you are, and that is something that we should all inspire towards, in my opinion. I was very overweight in my teens, and it was something that I had to work on because I was really unhealthy and feeling really unwell. But even if it's not an unhealthy thing, if you're insecure about something that you can actually change, and if you don't want that in your life, you can change it. There's nothing wrong about changing something that you don't want to be something that you want to be, or to look a certain way. My survival technique was denial. All of us have different survival techniques. Some people fight, some people go in shock, and some people deny it, just like me. If you want to, I can make a video about like survival techniques and subconscious things as well. But that is not the theme of this video. Yeah, my survival technique is denial. And instead of being super insecure about how I look, I didn't think about how I look at all, and I just pushed it back. I never thought about looking pretty because I didn't think that I was pretty. I didn't think that I was super ugly as well. I just didn't think about it at all because I felt like if I think about it, it will make everything worse, and that is how I deal with things in general. So I was this kid that was overweight, and I didn't care about my appearance, and that is something that kind of saved me, because if I would have associated myself with being fat, I probably wouldn't have been able to lose that much weight. But I wasn't proud of how I looked as well. I think there was a lot of fat phobia in my subconscious just from the society, and I wasn't like, oh, I still look dope. I wasn't like that. I just thought that I wasn't anything from the outside. I minimized my self-worth to only my persona and only my personality, because I thought that my outer appearance was something that I had to overcome instead of something that I can cherish. And that is pretty sad in my opinion. But it's just how our society works. We feel like we have to cover up things that society tells us are ugly, even though they just belong to us. In one of my favorite Turkish movies, Aşk Tesadüfleri Sever, one of the characters says, you cannot love something that you don't understand. And I feel like same goes for self-love. You have to understand yourself. You have to understand where you want to be, who you want to be, and what you want to look like. And we can all develop, but everything about me still... I changed a lot, but a lot of the things stayed the same. My nose is the same, my mouth is the same. Like, there is no one on this planet that looks like me, and that is something really cool. I shouldn't aspire to look like Kim Kardashian, because there already is a Kim Kardashian. I don't need that. Like, I am good in the way that I am, just because I'm unique and no one else looks like me. Just because I'm unique and no one else looks like me and has the same thoughts as me. And it's so amazing if you think about it in that way. But you have to understand yourself, your body, and why you don't like some things about yourself. Emily Nagoski has written a book about female sexuality and all of that, and in one of her TED Talks she says, go in front of the mirror and look at yourself as naked as you can and try to figure out 3 things that you really like about yourself. And if you practice that every day, you will find more and more things that you like about yourself. And the thing is, you just get used to it. Like, sometimes it's hard for me to edit my videos because I'm sick of my face, I'm sick of my voice, but that's just who I am, and it actually has helped me to train myself to see myself, because we see all of the people around us, but because we don't stand in front of the mirror 24/7, we have a different picture and image of ourselves. And if we actually work on that, and if we try to train ourselves to look at in the mirror and see who we are actually, it is way easier to understand and to accept yourself. And like I said, if you think about what you like and what you don't like and why you don't like it, is it that you don't like your thick thighs just because society has told you that fat is not good? Or do you not like your thick thighs because it actually gets in the way of you walking, for example, or like it actually bothers you? And if there are things that actually bother you, not because it's societal, but because you don't like them, that is okay as well. You can work on the things that you actually want to work on. I don't think it's toxic to do things with self-love and work on yourself in and out. It is a process. You don't have to, you can love everything, but with love you can also work on some things that you don't like. And if you don't like some things because of the wrong reasons, you can work on trying to accept those and trying to embrace the things that has been given by God, the universe, whatever you believe in. So it's just a very conscious thing of, what do I want? If you take on the initiative in some things, and if you learn to transform, it doesn't mean that you don't love yourself. And it's just very important to take care of yourself. And it's very important to love the quirks of yourself as well. Love your stretch marks, because those stretch marks tell the story of your development. They're there for a reason. Everything in our body is there for a reason. For example, we hate pubic hair. Why do we hate pubic hair? It's purely societal. Pubic hair is there for our vaginas to not catch infections. Like, it's so basic, and so many women have fungus or like infections or whatever because they've been told that they have to shave constantly, and they feel ashamed if they're not shaved. Why do we have that? It doesn't make any sense. And if you actually like to be shaved just because you like the feeling, then do you. And if you like your bush but you have the feeling that you're not allowed to do it, work on that thought of like, I feel ashamed and stuff. Just work through it and try to understand where it comes from, and try to understand what you want for your body, because no one can tell you what to do with your body but yourself. And if someone else doesn't like it, fuck them. Also, many people just don't care that much. Like a haircut or another difference that you've made on your body. People may notice for a little and be like, oh, that's pretty, or like give their 2 cents on it. But basically it's what you do, and you will notice very much because you're like the main role for you. But a lot of people don't realize, and that is okay as well. And because you're not a big thing in a lot of people's life, I feel like it gives you a lot of freedom, because you're like, even if they don't like it, they will think about it for like 2 minutes, and then it's fine again, and everyone moves on. Like, no one cares. Also, things change. Hair grows, stretch marks fade. Obviously, they don't vanish, but like, you know what I mean. Skin changes. You are a work in progress, and you will until you die. So, like, give yourself some time and love every minute of the different phases that you have, because a 20-year-old you will look totally different than the 40-year-old you. But both are amazing, they're just completely different. What makes you feel good? How do you want to look? All of those things are like initial important things that you should think about. And you can obviously ask for advice, or like ask your loved ones what they think would be the best. But initially you can make the decision, and everyone else has to be okay with it, because you are living your life 24/7. They will probably see you for like 1 minute, have an opinion, and then move on. Experiment. Everything will be fine, and at the end it is better to say, oh, I tried this and I didn't like it, than to say, oh, I wish I tried it when I was 20, 25. Like, it's alright. Also, be open about your insecurities. If some things trigger you when people talk about it, just tell them, so you don't have to be triggered all the time. If you are open about them, about your insecurities, it can actually help you to talk about it and to work through it with other people as well. Because I feel like I was a bit like, oh, they're not going to be able to help me either way. But it's unnecessary to be that arrogant, because sometimes people actually give you good advice, and everyone comes from a different background, so it might be that they have experienced something similar, and then you might help other people in opening the conversation they were too shy to open up about and to talk about. So it's just a very nice thing to share thoughts and doubts and fears that we all have. In Little Women, Joe and Mr. Bear, I think, argue a lot, and Joe says, I'm not Shakespeare, out of frustration because he criticizes her writing, and he's like, thank God we already had him. So instead of trying to be someone that already exists, or a beauty standard that is actually not achievable, because many things are only achievable through Facetune and working out 10 hours a day and plastic surgery. Instead of trying to achieve something that is already there, just embrace what you have and what you're working with. And for me, like, no one asked me for my opinion, but for me, looking unique is so much more beautiful than looking like you came out of the factory and everyone looks the same. So it is so nice to see someone's character shining through a bit from the outside. I think that is one of the most beautiful things that we could think about. I think it's all about personality. If one of my friends is more goth, and one of my other friends is more musical, and one of my other friends is more sporty, that is amazing, because we see all of the different shades and colors, and we can see how different we are, and that we all still love each other and can hang around each other, and we can change out wardrobes and experience new things. It's amazing, actually. Also, change your perspective on beauty, in my opinion. Have you had that when you looked at one thing all the time and you didn't see the obvious, and then you just have that epiphany and you look at it from a different point of view, and then it all makes sense? That's how I felt with beauty. Like, you have the feeling that your waist has to be cinched and your face has to be beautiful and markless and spotless and all of that, but when you put all of that away, and when you think about beauty as like being perfectly imperfect, and when you look at the mirror and you're like, I think I look dope, I think I'm a cool person, when you have that epiphany, it's just like mind-blowing. It's the most beautiful thing that you could ever experience, in my opinion. Also, you're probably judging others the way that you judge yourself. Maybe not that harshly, but like when you notice the thought patterns that you have about other people, and when you think of what you criticize on other people, you will see that you criticize the exact same things on yourself, and it's just not that obvious because you have the dialogue in yourself instead of outwards when you talk with a friend. So like if you see other people and you notice their belly more than anything else, it probably shows that that is your biggest insecurity, or you feel like, oh, they have so much makeup on, or you know, just like things that could make you insecure, you notice on other people. So I think the thing that I criticize the most about other people is that they look the same and that they all put on a show to impress. And that is something that I really don't want to do. It could be, when it comes to like appearance, I think it's one of my biggest fears, that I am not myself anymore and that I'm trying to impress more than I'm just natural. And that is the thing that I criticize about other people the most. So if you notice that, you can accept your insecurities and actually work through them. And same goes for healing. If you heal others too, because you can show that you've gone through it, you've been through it, and you've learned, and then you can help others. So every step that you take and make with positivity and with self-love will help someone else at the end, because they can see how long of a way you have come, and that is absolutely possible to do that. So that is an amazing experience, in my opinion, to just share and open up about our paths. So those were my thoughts about how to be confident in your own appearance. I hope this helped someone. I hope this made you think a bit, maybe, about the beauty images that we have and the expectations that we have towards ourselves that are just really unnecessary. If you have any thoughts or comments, just let me know, pop them down below. And if you feel lonely at any point, or if you want to talk, my DMs are always open. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one.